Hello and welcome to the Chosen Few, the one and only place for you. This is a brief tutorial video showcasing how to use the NTSC Script Pack for version 1.3.0 of Save on Windows. Now this will work for versions 1.3.0 and above. So just know that if you have a future version that it should be compatible. So without further ado, let's get started. So right here I have the Save product page pulled up, and I've also logged into my Patreon account on the Chosen Few Software website. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on the link to download the NTSC Script Pack. I'm going to open that up once it's done downloading. And now I'm going to do extract all. And you're going to look for the folder that you installed save. So once you find that, extract everything. And there we go. So you'll notice there's a few new folders here. There's the NTSC Scripts folder. There's the NTSC Scripts VHS folder. And there's the samples folder, and inside of this samples folder there's a few other folders. Now these folders determine the format of the samples that you're trying to input into either the NTSC or VHS modems of Save. So the first part of each folder name is the aspect ratio, and the second part is representative of the frame rate. For example, 4:3.x will represent sample video inputs that have a 4:3 aspect ratio and display at 29.97 frames per second progressive, while the 4:3.2x folder actually represents files with a 4:3 aspect ratio and a 59.94 frames per second progressive display. So as long as your input samples conform to any of these sort of presets, then you should be able to use them. So I'm actually going to go ahead and open up our sample here. And importantly, we observed that it's in 4:3 and is at 29.97 frames per second. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this into this folder here, 4:3.1x. So once I've done that, I'm going to open up a terminal in the root folder here. So I'm just going to type cmd and then hit enter, because these scripts only work in the command prompt and not in PowerShell. So that's an important distinction to note. So next, for the NTSC modem, I'm going to type ntsc-scripts / process-all.cmd. And then there's a string that we can add to the end here that allows us to specify the different parameters for the demodulation. So notice the equal sign at the beginning here. That is important, and it helps Save recognize that you're specifying the following parameters. So lumagain can be any number here, and it represents the amount of decibels to boost up the luminance signal coming from the NTSC modem. And then there's chromagain, which is the same but for the color signal. So if you notice that your output is too dark, you would make the lumagain higher. And if you notice that it's too desaturated, you would boost the chromagain parameter. So I'm going to go ahead and run that script. And as you can see, it immediately starts processing everything. So you may notice that this does take quite a bit of time to process. It's not exactly real time, and it will probably be faster on your machine if you're running Windows 11 on bare metal because I'm running this in a VM right now. Now, before you try to open up the output inside of the NTSC output folder, you will need to have a player such as VLC Media Player or SM Player installed because these are lossless video files. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop these into VLC, and we can see they play just fine. So that's how you use the NTSC modem. Next, I'm going to show you how to use the VHS modem using a similar set of scripts. So with your input samples in the same location, you don't need to move those at all. You can substitute the ntsc-scripts part of the command for ntsc-scripts_VHS. And you can use the same lumagain, chromagain parameters as before. Now, also note that with the VHS filter specifically, you might want to apply some sharpening. In order to do that, you will type a command similar to this. So, this v/filter/conv.unsharp is an unsharp filter, which you can use to basically enhance the sharpness of the VHS output. And this amount parameter, AMT, I've set to -3.0. That's an amount in decibels that represents how sharp you want the final image to be. So negative numbers will make it less sharp, and positive numbers will make it more sharp. So I'm just going to hit enter to run that command. So as you can see, the VHS filter is much slower to process. That's because the signal has to undergo a lot more processing than the simple NTSC modem. If you're not happy with the performance of this filter on your machine, please let us know because we're always looking to improve our products. So now that the VHS files are done processing, I can actually go ahead and find those in the NTSC output_VHS folder right here. One final note for users is that there's going to be pairs of output files for each input file. One is just named the name of the original file, just inside of this NTSC output_VHS folder, and another one is going to have this underscore resampled at the end. This underscore resampled file is basically a deinterlaced, resized version of the original input, or of the original output, that is compatible with more video editors. If you want to use the absolute most authentic original output from the modem, whether it's the NTSC or VHS modem, just use the original file, which is without the resampled label at the end. So that's all, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!